What's going on, friends? I hope you're doing great, and thanks for tuning back into another video. What you see here is a little bit of a throwback to my second video, I believe that was. My second video, this is some Battlefield 1. I've kind of been everywhere with games lately. I haven't been focusing too much on anything specifically, and I actually haven't touched Modern Warfare much at all since my last video. But I've been feeling Battlefield 1 a good bit recently, so I was like, you know what, why not throw in some Battlefield 1 gameplay? This is a conquest I played yesterday on the map Amiens, and I not too long ago figured out that that's not how you pronounce that word, but hey, it's been like 4 or 5 years. It's Amiens to me. I'm sure it's Amiens to a lot of other people too, but anyways, I'm playing as a scout using the Russian 1895 infantry. I call it like the cowboy rifle. It basically looks like a cowboy rifle. I don't know how else to put it, but it's good for really close ranges, and then in a second I'll switch to the trench version for even better close range, because this map has a lot of, you know, really close corridors and stuff like that. It has a little bit better hip fire, etc. I ended up doing really well. It was a wonderful match overall, honestly. And like I said a second ago, this is kind of a throwback to my second video. I really enjoyed playing Scout and showing people how it's meant to be played, and that they can be a big asset to the team, you know, not just someone camping on a hill somewhere. So as you saw by the title, by the thumbnail, in this video I'm going to be discussing this year, what's been going on lately, and my personal perspective on how we can make things a little bit more simpler for ourselves. Before I get too far though, guys, I don't really have any excuses per se as of where I've been, why I've been absent of uploading, other than my inspiration just hasn't really been there. It's quite simple. It's not really a conspiracy or anything like that. And if you hate me and you're like, screw this guy Delta, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. However, on a more serious note, shortly after my last upload, sadly it wasn't a great time for the world in general due to the murder of George Floyd, and I really think that threw a wrench in everybody's state of mind, me included of course. And you know, even if I had been ready to go, ready to upload, I don't think it would have been right at the time to do that. I don't feel great at all about being absent, but at the same time, if you've been watching since I first started uploading, you know that I would rather not make videos if I'm not feeling it. But I don't want to dwell on that because, you know, I'm here, you're here, and I do want to talk about something that's weighing on everybody. And of course, like I said earlier, that is living and dealing with the year 2020. Now, I do want to make something clear. I'm not the type of person who believes that just because the year on the calendar is 2020, that all of these things are happening just because it's 2020. You know, time is a figment, but not to get too deep with that, I just wanted to make sure you guys understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that these things are going on because it's 2020, but we've still got to deal with them nonetheless. So, you know, like I said in the title, there's a lot happening right now. I'm pretty sure nobody needs a reminder of what's going on. The thing is, on top of that, we've all got stuff going on in our personal lives, and then there's all the external stuff that's kind of hitting everyone at the same time. And point being, people, we have got to pick our fights in this world. I don't know about you, but I have enough on my plate, on my own, dealing with my own self. I don't care for extra nonsense. With that being said, I firmly believe a lot of the problems that we have are things that we create ourselves and feed attention and energy to. So the first and perhaps the most important thing that I want to address here is the opinion. People, you don't have to turn hostile at someone who has a different thought process than you do. I can't tell you how many friendships I see ruined because two people have a different belief when it comes to religion, politics, etc. Believe it or not, it's possible to exist in the same dimension as someone who has a different opinion than you do. But before anybody can really grasp that, it's important to know the difference between an opinion and a fact. And I am wholly convinced that the majority of the world does not know that difference or chooses to ignore it. So unless you're a scientist or a statistician, very rarely do we work with facts in our day-to-day life, and that is okay. But the thing is, you've got to understand that 90% of the time what you're bringing to the table in an argument, a fight, a disgruntlement is an opinion. And you know, I'll tell you how I know that people don't know that difference. The thing is, if people understood the difference, they wouldn't be in a conflict or a fight in the first place, because they know, oh hey, wow, this is just the way I see things. There's no need to try and fight this person. Believe it or not, the statement "it's hot outside" is not a fact. Now, how many times have you heard an argument between people about it being hot or cold outside? Now, you even may be a participant in those kind of things, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this video. Now, if you were to say, hey, it's 98 degrees outside, I haven't had anything to drink today, if I don't take a break, I could get heat exhaustion. That is presenting factual information. So if people would realize something as simple as that is an opinion, imagine how much different things would be in the world when it comes to bigger topics. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I avoid arguments and conflicts because I refuse to argue with someone over an opinion. It's so refreshing because I can see it. I can see they want to argue, but I won't do it. I feel like I'm an NPC in World of Warcraft, like evading an attack or something.
Me and you go toe to toe, and I will clean the floor with you. You are a coward, gutless mercenary.
There's no point. You can't convince anybody using an opinion. You have a better chance of talking to a rock. Now, if you want to have a civil conversation and actually get your opinion, your point across, I promise you it's 1,000 times easier when you aren't pushing it on someone like it's a fact. Another sad thing I see a lot of is people living in a black and white world, and know that it has nothing to do with like skin color or anything. But for anybody who doesn't understand what I mean by that, it means basically this:
if you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
I 100% believe what Obi-Wan said, and I 100% believe that it is a big problem, and it's pretty much directly related to what I just spoke about earlier with opinions. I can't really make anyone see things differently, but when you slap an if-then label on everything in life, you restrict so much from yourself. I think that life should be about expanding your perception, your mind, your comprehension of the world. You know, people love to say stuff like free your mind or stay woke, but then they turn around and use generalizations everywhere. They just compartmentalize everywhere. To me, it's an absolute lazy way of seeing the world, because as soon as you slap that label on something, you don't have to think anymore. It's just, oh, if this person is this way, then they're this way. If this person likes this, then that 100% means that they hate that. I truly have the hardest time wrapping my head around how someone can think that way, but they're out there. And if you're one of these type of people, please just start thinking more. You're not a computer. Everything in life is not on or off, right or wrong. So I think we all know that life is not going to be perfect at any point in time. There's some things in life that we've just got to deal with. The great thing about it is that, you know, we deal with stuff, we go through things, we struggle, we learn. But there's a lot of problems that we create that are in our own control, like I said earlier. Why create more problems and have to deal with more than we already have going on already? Now, I don't know if you guys ever had this growing up, but sometimes back in the day when you go to a parent, a teacher, guardian, and you go to tell them something, you know, whether it's tattletaling or if it was actually something, they would say something along the lines of this: if somebody ain't bleeding, on fire, or unconscious, it can wait. I mean, who else got that growing up? Cause I know I did for a fact. And that same concept resonates with me today as adults. You know, when you run into an issue Whether it's a disagreement, anger, fear, annoyance, stop and ask yourself, is my life in danger? I feel like a lot of us, especially as Americans, have become spoiled rotten, and many of the issues that we come up with are comically trivial in comparison to things that other people have to deal with across the world. Now, I am not trying to downplay many of the legitimate problems that we have in the United States, but people, sometimes we take things too far. I know it's not a great feeling if somebody doesn't like your sexual orientation. I know it feels bad when somebody uses a slur against your ethnicity. I know it's hard not to get angry when someone else chooses not to follow safety recommendations. And once again, because I feel like I probably should elaborate on this is a case-by-case basis. Sometimes those situations can become legitimately dangerous. And if they are, by all means, scream and shout. But the majority of the time, people are in an upheaval. It's over a person they pass in the parking lot, a random troll, or somebody that they are never gonna come across again in their life. I have a battle that I met in AIT who's a dispatcher for the police. Very slim chance that you're watching this, but if you are, you know who you are. But she would be more than happy to confirm the type of calls that she gets every single day. I don't think I need to go into details. If you aren't in harm's way, don't let these hit and run encounters get you all bent out of shape or throw off your view of the world. The last big point that I want to make here is that there's a lot of information out here. This is a time where information is being thrown around abundantly. I don't get how some people can take it all in at once. The sad truth is that there's a lot of people out there who only want to see the world in chaos, and their only goal is to spread misinformation. Now, I'm not advising anybody to bury their head in the sand. That doesn't work for everybody. And I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of times that's what I do, because if I let all the information being thrown at me get in and manifest and I think about it, I would lose my mind. So yes, I very frequently turn off my eyes and turn off my ears and just kind of focus on my life and what matters to me day by day. But like I said, that doesn't work for everyone. So all I can advise is please be careful with the consumption of media and information and things like that. It's very, very important to take things with a grain of salt. I feel like that's something that gets overlooked way too much. Just take a moment. I really want you to stop and take a moment and look at the basics of how things work, because people forget about the basics. Outside of your personal experience, what you see, hear, smell, touch, taste, all the other information you get is pretty much by word of mouth from somebody else. People, that is big. That is huge. I just want you to think about that. At the end of the day, we can't truly count on anything outside our own personal experience, but that can go both ways. I'm not telling you just to not believe anything. What I'm trying to say is take things with a grain of salt and put your own personal experiences before what you hear on the news, what you see on TV, what you hear from somebody else. As I wrap the video up, I want to say a huge thank you if you got to this point listening to me rant. I know it was a lot, I know it's deep, but I feel like it was 100% worth it, and if I can get my message across to anybody, then it was definitely worth it. On the gaming front, I have several video ideas swirling around right now that I want to get out there. There's been some pretty big things happening that I want to address, and some of you might be able to actually guess what some of that stuff is, but I'm really looking forward to it. If you have some advice for life in 2020, I'd like to see your ideas in the comment section below. If you enjoy hearing my thoughts, don't be afraid to share this video, especially if you feel like there's people out there who can get something out of it. Not only would that help them, but it will also help my channel grow as well. To see more content, make sure you've hit that subscribe button and the bell icon which will let you know when I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you come back sometime.